Not just content with having the most famous thighs in pop, Beyoncé has gone all movie-licious tonight. Is the premiere of The Fighting Temptations, her first leading role.
On Booty Watch in Leicester Square is Colin Patterson, who's been speaking to his, get this it rhymes, fantasy fiancée, Beyoncé. Eh? Look at him, and he looks so happy. Colin, how was she?
Welcome to Leicester Square. As you say, Beyoncé has just been there in the Empire for the premiere of The Fighting Temptations. It's a kind of gospel comedy film. Some premieres are star-studded. That would make this quite stud-free. We had two of the Bill, Lamar and Jodie Marsh and Jordan, but perhaps the others are staying away because the new only one lady is going to be on the front of all the papers tomorrow. And that was Beyoncé Knowles. She did turn up and I spoke to her. Hello, Beyoncé. I'm glad to see you brought Shorty along. He's been everywhere in this trip to Britain.
Shorty is more famous than I am.
He looks strong, but is he quick? Could I whack him and run away quickly?
I don't know, you gotta try it.
Prince William, last time he spoke to you, we were excited he was coming to your gig. Did he ever show?
No, I don't think so.
Another royal scandal in this week of shame.
You didn't come either.
Oh, hey.
I asked you to come too.
In the film, originally, Pete Diddy was cast as the love interest. How different a film would that have been?
Oh, really? I didn't even know you're telling me stuff I didn't know. I don't know, I guess it would have been different.
And, of course, the love interest ended up being played by Cuba Gooding Jr. He plays an advertising executive in this film who's left a fortune, but there's a twist. To inherit it, he has to manage a church choir to Choir of the Year. He's in trouble until he meets Beyoncé Knowles. Quite handy, that. And here's the moment in the film where they meet.
Can I buy you a real drink? I'm Darren.
You really don't remember me?
That, Lily?
You kept asking me to be your girlfriend.
And you kept saying no?
Yeah, I was determined to be Mrs. Michael Jackson.
And how's that going?
Oh, it turns out I'm not his type.
Claudia, exciting showbiz news for you from this premiere. I can reveal Beyoncé Knowles' shoes were too big for her. Her ankle was about that far away from the back of the shoe. What does that mean?
That means she borrowed the outfit too late, and she didn't have time for insults, perhaps. I'd like to ask both your views on Beyoncé. And first of all, Tori, you're sort of famous for being nice to other female singers, in a way, sort of Alanis Morissette, Bjork, you were always very nice. And now there seems deep rivalry between Christina Aguilera and Kelly Osbourne, Christina Aguilera and Pink, Britney and Christina.
Well, and the sad thing is the patriarchy of the music industry is very happy about this because they think we're too hormonal to have authority anyway. So when we show them that this is how we use our authority, then they're smiling. Trust me.
Is that why you did it? Was that a conscious decision to say, actually, you know what, girls, if we're nice to each other, it'll freak out, or not necessarily freak them out, but you have more power?
No, but that is a byproduct of it. I think it is about why can't we be happy for each other's success? Because I could never be you. You could never be me. Pink can never be whomever, purple. But I'm just saying there has to be a level where we don't become 13 years old on the playground, you know. I've lost the plot about all that.
Stay with us. We'll just say goodbye to Colin. Colin, thanks very much. Bring us any news of any extra appearances that's still there.
I will do, Paddy.
Tori, the one thing about you and Beyoncé is this whole background. It's very young for her, isn't it? Where the place she's at with the magnitude of her fame. She's a very young woman. As you're now releasing, you know, remixes, recuts of some of your biggest numbers, as it were. What do you think back on the time about how you've changed? Because a lot of your early albums were influenced by big tragedy, and now you've got a happy life with a young daughter. And do you think about the passage of time and what you're doing?
I do. I think that she has a lot of spirituality surrounding her and within her. And when a person has that, on tough days, it can get you through. And that can mean anything. It doesn't necessarily mean religion, as you all know. Sometimes it's just a sense of having good friends, you know, people who tell you the truth.
My favourite thing, I've read lots, is that you said, I didn't know how much I needed my daughter until she came along, and you thank her first on your album. And I was like, oh, that's very cute. And you take her with you on tour. How much has she changed? She made you much softer.
I think she's made me more ferocious in that I feel like I need to be, you know, the idea of being radical is being a safe place. You know, being a mom that's safe. That's the hardest thing I've ever had to do. You know, put aside maybe what I want to do. I used to jet around and do this and that. You know, after a show, I get on the bus, and I'm there for her, and it's the most exhilarating thing and rewarding thing I've ever done. But I had to change my life. It was a radical change.
One of the things that strikes me about all Americans who choose to live somewhere else is what you're making of your country looking back on it. Scarlett's Walk was a trip across America after 9/11, your last album. Do you think when you look back at your country you prefer to live here? That's the simplest way to say it. You have actually chosen to do it.
I chose to marry a Brit, and he didn't want to live there, and I'm a better traveler than he is. But I like living here. I think it gives me a perspective as a songwriter. I'm able to weave in and out. I tour there a lot, so I see it. But sometimes to get perspective, and as you know, and probably you know this very well, it's hard to get information while you're there. It really is.
And if you could take a step back, and I love the description of where you live, which is in Cornwall, and it sounds very rural, but you've got this massive studio. Is that where also you place your, I know you feel you have a beloved piano, or you have a good relationship with your piano. Is that where it sits, in this sort of massive barn?
Yeah, in between the cow farm and the chicken farm. She's there.
But with all these good vibrations, going back to where we started, it's still fair to say you don't much like Courtney Love. Let's just round it off there.
No, it's not you. You're very cute. But what it is...
He is very cute.
He is
you
very
know what,
cute.
hold on a sec. We'll talk about this. We're just going to go back to Steph, because I think she's just come out live.
See, this